Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. Got to the midweek. Now we've got some cool music to check out today, some different stuff. It's going to be a mixture of deathcore bands, which we haven't had on the channel for a while. And I've got some really nice deathcore in the queue as well, so we'll have to get this stuff on more in the channel soon. But anyway, we've got this stuff on the channel today because there's a new band that's made a priority submission. But they're not just a deathcore band. It says here, we're our first of its kind deathcore and power metal fusion. Now, that's something I've definitely never even heard before or never even thought of before. It says they're hailing from Canada, USA and Australia, which is pretty cool. We had some Australian bands on the channel yesterday, but these guys are covering the world just with their own band. So let's check these guys out. This is Dragoncorpse. Their track is called Blood and Stones, and say it's a deathcore power metal fusion. Can't wait to hear it. Nice and heavy. Nice drumming. Here we go. Nice drumming. Yeah, that was cool. Broke into it nicely. Cool. Those drums sound great. Nice speed in this music. You know, power metal is fast-paced music. Here we go. Cool. Yeah, these guys are on to something new, I would say, definitely. It's like symphonic deathcore moving into power metal. And I would say the symphonic side of the deathcore is a nice kind of glue and bridging gap between the power metal and the deathcore edge, because that is the one thing that both of those styles do have in common: the orchestral side, the symphonic, the swelling, synthy stuff going on in there, and the kind of operatic singing was cool as well. And I thought that was a nice bit of glue to transition and keep a vibe going between the deathcore and the power metal. Yeah, pretty cool. Power metal as well is nice, fast-paced music, a lot of double bass and blast beats and stuff in there, depending on the band. So the drumming works nicely as well, transitions through there pretty nicely. Sick drumming in this band, really, really nice. The drums sounded great. The double bass really gave it a nice drive and power, sounded great. All the extra layers of synth and stuff gave it a nice symphonic, depth to it, like an orchestra type feel to it. Sounds cool, and just brings like an epicness to the music as well. So yeah, the deathcore stuff was really heavy and deathcore-y, and then the power metal stuff was really power metal-y as well, and the symphonic edge kind of, just as I say, was a nice glue to have a vibe going across the whole thing. So yeah, keep going down this road, I would say, because I do think the power metal guys could definitely get into this as well. They might not be into deathcore as it is, just straight up deathcore, but this super heavy kind of, you could say it's almost super heavy power metal. Yeah, definitely. I think some of the power metal guys are going to go, yeah, that's got enough power metal for me to enjoy that. And the other stuff's just real heavy power metal. So nice. I think these guys are doing a cool job. I want to hear more. What was it called? Deathcore power metal fusion. Very cool. The next band we're going to check out is called Shadow and Shade. These are new guys to the channel. This is a track called With Vengeance. It's got a video to it. Let's give it a spin. Nice rawness on the drum. Sick. Cool synthy edge to these guys as well. Oh, there we go. That's the end of that one. Man, those were some of the punchiest drums I've ever heard. And not only punchy, but still with a slight rawness to them as well. You could hear, especially on the bass drum, you could hear the vibration of the skin. And it came through in the mix. It sounded amazing. But Jesus, those were some hellish punching drums. Jesus. Absolutely ripped through the mix and just slapped you around the ears. Sounded dope. Went great with the guitar riffs as well, chugging along. These guys were great. I like the symphonic kind of synthy orchestral side to these guys as well. That's why I put these guys in the mix, because I haven't got any more power metal, fusion, deathcore, none of that in the queue, but I have got some more symphonic-y, bands that are bringing in an atmospheric and a symphonic-y edge to the music, which I thought would go well with it. These guys sounded great as well, and with the punchiness of those drums in deathcore, you just cannot go wrong. Absolutely slapping. Now, the last band we're going to check out, I'm pretty sure these are new to the channel as well, Winter Hotel. They're on the Slam Worldwide channel. This is The Show Must Go On, Chapter 5, with an official vid. We've had some cool vids as well to check out today. Here we go. Nice mosh to these guys. Hear the bass nicely in the mix in this one. Vocalist is working it out. Cool atmospheric edge come into it. These guys are quite interesting, lots of different stuff coming together in this band, different edges, different types of riffs, and bringing in that post-rocky, atmospheric stuff towards the end there. Sounded great, giving me a whole different kind of edge and vibe. Nice, I enjoyed those guys a lot. You'll have to listen to those guys a couple of times, I think, to kind of really figure out what type of band they are, because there's deathcore-y stuff, there was metalcore stuff in there, that post-rocky, atmospheric edge in there as well, just chugging and heavy. I'm pretty sure they call themselves an alternative metal band, North London Alternative Metal. Now, it's not what I would call alternative metal personally, but somewhat quite different. You know, I'm not sure what you'd call it because there's a bunch of different edges coming together, but it sounded nice. We'll have to check these guys out a bit more in the future. So keep sending in your videos. That applies to all the bands today. And if you're in a band and you want to make a submission, head over to the website. All the links are in the description, and we'll get your band on and talk about your band as well. And hopefully you've got some fresh stuff like a lot of these bands have had today, actually. Fusing different genres together which haven't been heard, power metal and deathcore, and it worked out very nicely because the power metal has got a speed to it, a double bassy speed, which is also there in the deathcore, and a symphonic edge which is also there in the power metal. So yeah, glued together nicely. I think we could actually see that turning into, you know, a proper subgenre, and it could be deathcore bands getting into it and adding a bit more power metal to their music, or it could be power metal bands adding a bit more heaviness and deathcore-iness to their bands as well. Could work both ways. So yeah, these guys might have opened up something fresh there. Very nice. And this last band as well, bringing in different edges together. I definitely was not expecting that more atmospheric, tremmy, reverby, post-rocky section towards the end there, but it worked very nicely and just took the band in a totally different direction, and just, you know, widened the track out. So yeah, very cool stuff. The bands today, I should say, are splicing different genres together and thinking outside the box, not just sticking to the, you know, the subgenre or genre that they're in. They're, you know, reaching out and grabbing other sections from other bands and other types of music. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think today, yeah, they've found something new, found something fresh. So definitely keep plugging away at that to get that nice balance of, you know, the power metal and the deathcore. Because the deathcore guys are probably going to want less power metal and more deathcore, and then vice versa for the power metal guys. So if you want to kind of satisfy both camps, I'm sure there's going to be a mark there in the middle where you've got a nice blend of the two, and it works out for everyone. Sick, cool. I love to think outside the box, getting new genres and talk about them on the channel. And you know, maybe this time next year or in a couple of years, we'll see a lot more power metal deathcore bands coming through, and we'll say, hey, we checked out the first guys to do it. That would be dope. So hope you're having a good day today, guys. That's all I've got for you today. We'll see you around. Cheers, bye.